children with their parents that have pulled out their iPhones, all similar, and started to record this premiere. The hypocritical thing that didn't happen here, though, was that nobody seems to have been arrested or prosecuted or punished, and the argument could be said that maybe it would have been bad publicity for the premiere event or whatever this movie was about. Never say never again, that's what I'm looking for, and I'm trying to read down. I must admit, I didn't know who this guy was. I'd heard his name floated around.
I actually envy you for not knowing anything about it. If you watch all kinds of American culture type of thing, it's becoming almost like a cult following usually for teenage girls, but it's I think that the trying to take they assume that the person would be in the cinema would be kind of girl. Usually it's teenage girls. I'm not sure what the proportion is, but it's probably like at least 50%. And I think their notion of how to, as they protect copyrights, protect the content, as terms like to use, they don't really think of this type of person as the target, they don't really think of pursuing legal action against people who are looking at these kind of, this, I'm a wonder guy, and I'm all kind of very gentle. I think as soon as you mention litigation in relation to a certain person or person's creations, you associate that person with a kind of a bully, so it just doesn't work.
Oh yeah, well, it's bad PR. I mean, copyright.
You can usually assume it's a very kind of old guys, kind of rough guys, and these are the people you want in jail more. So if you see the titles of certain films that have the mass litigations, it tends to be things like porn, it tends to be war films of all sorts. You can probably think of several examples of these recent things. And I'm not sure if it's because the studios have a whole diversity of films and do a whole range of genres, and they can aim. They basically want to scare people and to say, well, you download these films, you will be getting in trouble. And they have to select which film they want to associate lawsuits with. They don't really want to go with a love story of some sort and kind of associate this. Well, they were watching this love story, they were taken to court for it, because it can hurt the reputation of the film and be very, very bad for sales, I think.
I mean, of course, it's one of those things whereby a teenager, like I say, I don't know a lot about this character, Justin, but if you're saying that it's a teenage girl following that he has, then certainly that's not going to be the target that they're going to want to represent the evil piracy, in quotes, and the evil copyright infringer.
Yeah, look what happened to, what's her name? Oh gosh. Lily Allen.
Yes.
Yeah, you know the story. She was really fronting for these people, and to this day, lots of people would just associate her with Mendelssohn and with the digital economy bill, which of course is a euphemism to all kinds of nasty things and malicious things applying to the ISP. So people now suffer in all sorts of ways on the being on the internet and litigations and things like ACS law, because of all these people who think that they're taking the same side as the middleman, as the recording companies, not the music company. They don't produce music. All they do is record people and try to mass market the things. Trying to stick with these people is a really, really bad strategy. I think it was David Guetta or something who was recently talking. He was I think comparing a person downloading your music to a person borrowing something to a friend, or actually a free promotion. He was basically defending the practice of passing things around for free, of peer-to-peer. You might as well, if people are not going to pay for it, so you might as well get it for free. People who were willing to pay for it will pay for it anyway. That's just a way of free publicity. When people who aren't going to pay might as well listen to your music. But he's doing remixes, so some people said he's not exactly producing. He's in the business of mixing other people's things, and that's which everyone's doing to some extent. When you make music, you get inspirations. You tend to synthesize and to mix together all kinds of inspirations you have, and notions of what people think sounds good. But nothing really starts from zero. You have to start from somewhere.
I mean, if we can stick on the the copyright subject at the moment, because there's another small article. This time, I don't believe this was reported to Torrent Freak. It was one that I was reading around the net. American listeners might remember the "Don't Copy That Floppy" series of articles. Now, I don't remember these when they first came out. I assume it was a USA only type promotion, a bit like we have the Knock Off Nigel campaign over here. Now, apparently they've re-released that series of campaigns over in America, and apparently in the US schools are getting this campaign, "Don't Copy That Floppy." It has a very cheesy 1980s rap artist singing "Don't Copy That Floppy," which obviously was the original track used at the time, but now there's no floppy disks. And
it's very HT-like. I saw it for the first time on YouTube about a year ago.
Yeah,
I wasn't aware, but it's pretty old, obviously.
It's well, I think it's been rejigged for the schools. I believe that's what the crux of the article was saying. And it sort of crosses that line between
they Bieberized it.
Yeah. Well, it's sort of heaven forbid. It sort of crosses that line between implying that if you copy a CD, you'll be sent to prison, yet highlighting the examples of people making money out of counterfeit goods, which are two totally different things. And it sort of fudges that line, so whereby a child watching it, or a young person watching it, gets rather confused as to what's actually wrong, and well, both allegedly are wrong, but what exactly would land them up in prison. I mean, I find I've seen the video myself now, and I don't know whether it's an updated one, the one you saw, Roy, but I find it insulting, and I find it insulting to the young people that are going to be watching it. If anybody believes that young people these days will buy that type of rubbish in respect of propaganda, and it is propaganda, I think we've got another thing coming. I mean, as we saw over here with the Knock Off Nigel campaign, instead of people buying into the idea that somebody who copies music is somehow dirty or cheap or dodgy, what actually happened was Knock Off Nigel became a bit of a cult symbol. Everybody loved the tune that was used to sort of try to put people off copying software or titles, and everybody ignored it on the whole. I think the companies now need to wake up and see that users and potential customers are wanting a different way of buying.
It was applied in reverse. So the company's method is trying to get the kids to use peer pressure to persuade the other kids to not copy things. Basically, people who share are nasty people. Of course, isn't exactly the story your mom tells you. Sharing is good. Share with your neighbors. But they try to get the kids early enough, just thinking and being indoctrinated into a mode of thinking that the kids in class who share things, they are the bad people. They want to give you some cake, or they want to give you a free game. The externality in this case, I suppose, is the person who made the game or whatever, but they don't really see that person. So as far as they're concerned, the person who shares things, and especially things which are infinitely shareable, things with abundance, to the extent that you can take a boombox and come to the class and play music. Everyone can hear the music. Nobody's going to complain if it's good music. So they try to demonize these people. Now the issues they have is that they also fight against the parents, because the parents' education isn't quite as compatible, and also the old generation sometimes is already downloading music and sharing songs. So the things they take from home basically is that everyone's doing it, even mom and dad are doing it, and they will struggle to believe the teacher more than they believe, especially kids. They don't trust the teachers too much. The other thing that they do is by creating these demonized kind of, I suppose pirates is one thing they tried. And if you look back, pirates used to be very scary things. Pirate is like the guy from Robin Hood. This really kind of nasty guy. You want to avoid him, and gives you nightmares. But what they did with pirates, they associated pirates with people who give you free stuff. And what they then do is they actually create a sort of a lure for the same people who used to be scary, all of a sudden your friends in some ways. And in this case, they try to present Nigel as this disgusting person, but you see Nigel and you think, oh, that's like the friend who just gave me a free CD or something. And then you actually like Nigel. Nigel represents the rebellion against these companies and so it kind of backfires. They cannot actually get the thing to fit in the right way. Instead of Nigel being the bad guy, he's actually being the hero. And that's the same thing happened with pirates.
I mean, from what I've seen of the I mean, my personal take on the the whole file sharing article is I can't understand why people would want to share the rubbish that's released these days. I've been very critical about probably 90% of the mainstream
I think
material
it
that's out.
becomes a language. It becomes an
Yeah,
international language in the sense that it becomes popular culture. So pop